How many guys in here would say, and judgment-free, like literally a judgment-free environment, have like deep respect for women? If you do, put your hand up. I'm just curious. Yeah? Got it. Anyone here not have respect for women? I'm just curious. No judgment environment. No judgment. Literally no judgment. No? Okay. Got it. Do any of you guys here feel that you naturally maybe pedestalize women, like you like them almost too much? I do. Okay, so I really do. Yeah, I kind of do. Okay, so then from there, how important to you guys is the topic of consent? Like, does everybody here agree that getting consent during sex is like vitally important? Put your hand up if you agree with that. Who here feels that that's like more like a left-leaning issue and is like overplayed by the left? You feel that way? Okay. In judgment-free environment, what led you to maybe feel that way? And by the way, you have a shirt that says "Good Neighbor Project," so I know you're a good person.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mentor that passed away last year.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, but like it's more in the sense that some women don't feel like you're being it's to ask for consent to kiss you, you know, it's automatic turn off.
Got it. So you have concern it might make you look less manly. What could women do to encourage men to not feel less manly with that kind of thing?
Well, I mean, it also depends on the man to pick up on those social cues, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, if she's looking into your eyes, it's like the move's right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she's not going to make that move.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Yep.
Are you asking, like, if you're, like, engaging with a woman and sometimes there's just, like, this moment of, like, oh, we know we're about to get it on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to ask this woman, hey, do I have permission to get it on with you? It's like, we're doing it.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting about this? So do you, no, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Do you guys know, who here knows what the idea of affirmative yes is? Affirmative yes basically means this. If you don't have a clear yes at each phase, stop. What would be a reason to have affirmative yes, would you say?
So like later.
Placing your hand on it.
What's an affirmative yes? She's giving you, like, you can...
Affirmative yes, what it does is it removes any ambiguity about it, okay? So what was the old standard?
Married.
Fair enough. What was the old standard aside from marriage regarding consent?
You take a girl out. No.
The old standard was no means no, okay? So what happens if you get a no?
Stop immediately.
Cool. What's that?
Stop immediately.
Stop immediately. What is the new standard?
You try to, like, they try to push themselves on, like, and try to, like, get...
What is the standard of consent now?
You have to verbally ask.
Yes means yes.
Do you ask one time?
No.
It's not once or twice. What is it?
You have to ask continually
Yeah. Why is that?
to make sure that it's always there.
Mm-hmm. What happens if there's a miscommunication and people perceive it differently to your life?
Yeah, you're in trouble.
How much?
Yeah, like your reputation's out the window.
How much?
Your whole life is gone. Your whole life is gone.
Depends on what she wants to do with that.
I'll just say this. If it was whatever possible upside you would ever get from not checking, it's not even close to the downside, guys. Your life is gonna be fucking ruined, okay? It's also not something you wanna do from an ethical perspective either. So that's also a vitally, vitally important thing, okay? So by the way, I hope that you're enjoying the seminar. And I gotta tell you something. One of my favorite places in the world to go out and socialize is San Diego. I'm sitting right out here in the Gaslamp Quarter. I'm in San Diego right now. And guess why I'm out here? We're gonna be doing a seminar just like the one that you're watching here out here in San Diego. It's gonna be 2 full days. And in the seminar, I'm gonna be helping you to build a mastermind group of other people that are here. I'm gonna actually help you to network and find like-minded people. I'm gonna answer your personal questions, and I'm gonna take you out at night for a field trip, actually out here in the Gaslamp Quarter. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna go out, we're gonna tear it up. It's gonna be awesome. Make sure that if you live out here in Southern California, anywhere that you drive in, even if you live in LA, drive in, or fly in. I'd actually recommend that you fly in right here in San Diego to come and attend this free event. Now, if you happen to miss this one, another one that's coming up is Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle, Chicago, Hawaii, New York. It's going to be awesome. Click the link below to get into the free seminar. and I'll see you out at this free event. We're going to change your life. Back to the video. So anytime that you're approaching a girl, you want to be aware of it, what she's feeling and thinking from the level of, yes, her body language, but also ask. Got it, guys? Yeah. Okay, cool. And then from there, what I'd say is, do you guys feel that your major sticking point is that you dislike women, or that you like them too much and that you find yourself being a bit needy?
The latter.
Yeah? Not a fan?
I mean, if those are my two options.
Yeah. What do you find annoying about women?
I mean, okay, look, women are cute. They're great in like some ways, but they have a very hard time with linear conversation. They have a very hard time with regulating their emotions, and they are known to be fairly deceptive. You know?
You don't think men are deceptive?
Oh, no. I do think that some men are deceptive, but I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm very straightforward.
But have you ever thought of maybe fucking a dude? You sure?
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like one of those things. It's like a balance. And I do respect women.
Yeah.
You know.
But there's things that frustrate you.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it's like, my options are, I dislike women or I put them on the pedestal. I'm going with I dislike.
Yeah. Do you ever put women on a pedestal as well?
Absolutely not.
No? I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know why?
Because you want to fuck them.
Yeah. but not just that.
Okay. What else?
Look, if I were to ask you guys in here, like, the stereotype of men is, yeah, I mean, it's hard not to pedestalize women because being in their presence is like a drug-inducing high, right? Yeah, so it's literally a drug-inducing high, so it's hard not to put that on a pedestal. Like, your day with a beautiful woman is going to be 1,000 times better than, no, I know you know that. Yeah, so it's like, it's going to be 1,000 times better than a day with just by yourself. And then what I'd say is, like, do you ever find yourself, like, you're just kind of walking down the street in your own thoughts, and you're like, fuck, I wish I had a girlfriend to just, like, do this with, like, you're just going to grocery shopping, or you're going to like 7-Eleven, or you're on the subway, or you're driving the car, and it's just like, fuck, this is like lonely. You know what I'm saying, right? And like, I wish I had somebody to share this with. Do you guys feel that, or is most of what you feel is just like, there's just this like wet, warm hole that you want on your penis, and then you just want to release? Now, of course, it's both, right? That everybody has both, but like, is what you guys are here for predominantly that you need like a warm, wet hole on your penis, or do you actually like all aspects of interacting with women? Of course, there could be arguments or downsides, but do you guys actually like the whole package of it?
The whole package.
Yeah, definitely the whole package. Yeah, the whole package.
Full upside and downsides.
Well, there's upsides, downsides, everything for sure, yeah. And yet you're here learning. So there's probably more upside for you than downside, I'm guessing.
I mean, I feel like what he said, like all of the downsides just come a part of the package, and I just find it cute. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's a little broken thing, and it just.
Got it. Yeah. And then do you guys recognize women's humanity easily, or do you view them more like the other, or like how do you guys?
Recognize easily.
Yeah.
I think it's equal and
I struggle
opposite.
with the feminine energy, kind of like
Mhm.
I'm trying to learn how to. They're very physical and present.
Mm.
Very,
Logical.
thinking about the future and past and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hard to relate.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
So I always say this thing. It's like you have the man brain and the woman brain. Like these are the two most different fucking things in existence, right?
There's definitely differences.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like so when we're talking about this, it's like we have to really take the time to like appreciate and like it's like this whole exercise that we were doing earlier about like control versus not control.
Release, yep.
Women are really good at that.
The release part.
The intuition and like you can really listen to them sometimes, and if
Yeah.
you can get through all the like things, it's like, oh yeah,
What?
I didn't thank you for catching that, because it's like my man brain is like in operation mode. It's like, yeah, babe, but what about?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
good idea.
What do you guys feel is the main value that a woman brings into your life?
Children.
Family, yeah. Life, playfulness, yeah.
Getting you out of your
Good energy.
Yeah,
vibes.
yeah,
Protect you spiritually.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Calm you down.
Yeah,
Self-mastery.
yeah. Okay.
I'd say like one of the three attraction things, they're just real with themselves, so it's like fun to see.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think that as men, like, I go to Russian banya sometimes, which are like men's spa areas, and it's so different from like a women's spa, right? Like, if you guys ever been like Dylan's Russian banya here in Boston, right, or Russian Turkish baths in New York. So I think what you'd see is like a men's spa is literally like concrete walls and like crusty towels. You know what I'm saying, right? And the thing is that like it becomes like that because we are fine with that. But in the end of the day, women will actually get us to have more fun with things, right? Like most of you guys here, if it wasn't for women, would probably show up here wearing like a garbage bag. So, you know, but then you will dress better and you kind of like that you dress better, you know, right? Like I probably wouldn't wear like this stuff if it wasn't for girls, right? But at the same time, then it's fun when you actually wind up doing it, you know? I probably wouldn't have much sense of humor if it wasn't for girls, but then when you do it, you actually have fun doing it. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, you know, how that goes, right? And then would you guys say that the major area that would help you to be more successful with women would be learning to respect them more, or would you say it's learning more to not place them on a pedestal as much and to see them more as humans, or like more as like an equal, as opposed to like this goddess that you're like, you know, like that? Where's the area for growth?
The second one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I find it challenging. I feel like really intimidated when there's a woman I actually find attractive.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a woman I don't really find attractive, I can just speak totally confidently.
Mm-hmm.
But if
Yeah.
it's a woman that I'm like incredibly attracted to, it's just
You shut down.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They want that. They want you to be like, hey, like, you know, they want that, like, confidence and, like, masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. Even the ones who are pretending that they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and, like, the guy said, like, he was just saying about how you find, like, a super attractive woman.
Mm-hmm.
That woman wants you to be like,
To be confident.
I'm the fucking boss.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be put on a pedestal and worshipped.
She'll respect you so much more, and
Mm.
it's like they also have this like mindset of like competition with each other.
Mm.
So when they see you and they know that you can get other girls
Mm-hmm.
like this, I've heard you say that.
What do you think is the reason why it's important for them to know that you have other girls that like you? What's the reason why it's important for them to know that other women do like you?
Status thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a status thing, but it's also like a competition in their brain.
Mm-hmm.
He's got this thing.
Yeah. Also, how about this? Yeah, it means it could mean you have good genetics, but it also is something where they know that you actually like them. Right? If you know that you're the only girl that guy can get, how does she know that you even like her? Yeah. So that's a really big component of it as well. Yeah, it's not validating. You know what I'm saying? It's not a validating experience to be with someone who just, I'll be even real with you guys. So I have some insight into what a woman would experience with this because I'm a guy social media influencer. And I'm not like, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise famous by any means, even slightly. But I do have a lot of people who know who I am, right? So my experience is I actually have trouble making friends with guys. It's a really hard thing that I have. Do you know that I have literally unlimited male friends that I can hang out with. It's literally unlimited. Like every day of my life, it's literally unlimited. Like I could never meet all the guy friends that I could have. But in my experience, I have a very tight circle, very, very, very tight circle of just people that I'm tight with. And that is because it is literally pointless for me to hang out with almost every guy. And the reason why specifically is because they know that I have a social media following. They know that I have access to a lot of things, and they know that I have access to a lot of teaching. So they're looking to get something from a transactional mindset. And in my experience, that would not even be that bad. I'd be okay with it. Except that if they don't get what they want, they fucking hate you. And the thing is, it's also disorienting because let's say that you're a woman, right? And there's all these guys that like want to be your friend. Well, how do you know which ones actually want to be your fucking friend, right? It's like, and the thing is like, the guys are going to go like way above and beyond to be nice to you, to be your friend. And then you start to think that that's normal. But then later the guy's mad that he didn't get to have sex with you because he never would have done all that. And so, I even had to realize that like, oh, wait a minute, like all these people are coming and helping me. Do normal people have all these people coming and helping them? Probably not. So the guy probably wanted something, whether that was a job or access to something. And then I'm just going with the flow because the people are just offering it to me. But then I have to be cognizant of what their expectations are. So then it gets to the point where I'm like, well, I don't know what this person's expectations are, so I'm just not going to have any friends. And that's because it gets exhausting. And it's also heartbreaking because you wind up making guy friends that you thought were your real friends, and then it turned out that they weren't. And then they shit talk you even. Right? They run around talking shit, or they make up lies about you. Like they have photos with you and they make up lies about you. Well, guys do that to women too, right? Like they're like, okay, I have a photo with this girl, and then they lie and say they fucked her. So then at a certain point, and it's not that the girl can't handle that. It's literally just that there's no point. Does that make sense? Like if someone just pretends to be my friend, gets a photo of us together, and then posts online like, I'm friends with Owen and he's an asshole. It's not going to affect my business. It's not going to impact me personally. It's just a waste of my time. So if I assume that that's where an interaction is going, that's the trajectory of it, it's not that I'm personally deeply offended by it, but it is a waste of my time, and it kind of makes me feel bad, not because it hurts me financially, but because I thought that person was my friend. I actually had an emotional investment in them. So women also have that as well, right? So then from there, if a guy wants to be friends with me, what's the major thing that he can do to separate himself from the people that have done that? I'd say offer me value, but you know what another one would be? Visibly have other friends, right? Visibly have other friends. Also, visibly have other things they're passionate about. And also, maybe when we're hanging out, not making a big deal out of it. I actually did an audit of the vast majority of my guy friends, and I realized most of my guy friends are not the most high status guys. It's just guys that I can tell are oblivious to whether or not we're actually friends. Like they're just oblivious. Like the kind of guys where like we go out for a night and I'm like, oh, like where did Steve go? I don't know, he wandered off. You see what I'm saying? Like he wandered off. So can you guys see how even for women, it's not necessarily status driven. It's that they can't trust you if they know that you're putting it on a pedestal because they don't even know if you even like them. So if you're putting them on a pedestal, does that indicate love? Or does it possibly indicate some kind of deficit or gap, like something missing that you have that you're trying to use them to fill that up with? And then what kind of experience do they have with men who did use them to fill up an empty gap? So it's not about pedestalizing someone or not pedestalizing them, right? Like, it's just about having your own things going on and about having other people who also want to be your friend so that the person who you're talking to can tell that you're like a self-contained entity or unit that is not like in this weird deficit and like needing something out of them. And I've done experiments with this because I've done social interaction for 25 years. And what I found is that between high status, which is what everybody thinks that women want, and they don't make any mistakes, women do like status, but between high status versus like just not being creepy and just not being needy and visibly removing the downside for the girl. So instead of putting this massive upside of like, well, I'm Drake, but instead just removing the downside that you're gonna be some weirdo, I found that you'll actually have better social interactions if you just show that you're not a fucking weirdo. Like, and that is something that you have to eliminate. But how do you eliminate something like that? Well, you eliminate it by a couple of different things, okay? One of the ways that you eliminate it is you do some soul searching, right? Like, what am I missing? Like, why am I not happy being alone? That's one part of it, right? Looking at your inner beliefs, the capacity to become present to the moment, the capacity to enjoy life, the capacity to have a regular day and go enjoy it. I think that even celibacy is a huge part of success in dating, by the way. Massive. I go celibate myself. I go in long streaks of celibacy. And guys say, why would you be celibate? I say, because if you can't enjoy your day by yourself, you're needy. So it's very, very important to have streaks where you're celibate in order to confirm that you're not needy, like actually able to fill your own cup, right? That being said, though, in reality, I think that people could take that too far. Because the problem is if you're too much like protecting my peace mode and that's all that you ever do is just protect your peace, then what winds up happening is you're still not necessarily solving the issue entirely, right? You're just sort of like opting out, you know?
Deficiency within itself.
What's that?
That's like a deficiency within itself.
100% is. So then what I'd say there is, and there's also another element to it too. If you know that women enjoy your company and you know that you're somebody who's welcomed by women into their world and you know that sex is not a big deal, then you're also going to be less needy as well, okay? So it's one of these things where you would think paradoxically that if the girl knows that other girls like you, that would piss them off or make them angry. But actually what it often does is it removes the downside. Because like, I can't tell you how many times like I'll be hanging out with female friends of mine and they'll just start getting changed in front of me. And I'm like, I'm shocked by it. I'm like, wow, why'd she start getting changed in front of me? And they just stripped down. But the reason why is because like, well, you've seen this. You know, they're like, oh yeah, you date other girls. Like this is not a big deal to you. So they're actually comfortable to do that, right? Like why? And that doesn't mean that every girl's going to strip down naked in front of any random guy just as comfortable. But I'm just saying that there's instances of it. So if the girl thinks that you're going to make a big deal out of it, why would she be afraid to like say get changed in front of you? Because what's going to happen to most guys if a girl's like show some skin?
They're gonna make a big deal.
How are they going to act?
Their eyes widen.
Just like
get-
drool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also uncontrollable, right? Like it's to the point where the guy can't control it. Okay, you know. So if you bring a dog around a bag of dog food, you can't get mad at the dog for like, ah, you know, right? Like trying to eat the food, right? So if a guy's at a low level, you can't even really bring him around women because he's going to make too much of a big deal out of it. You like if I do a party, I have to actively screen for my guy friends that are thirsty and get rid of them. Okay, so thirstiness is actually an active problem. So, you know, I think guys' biggest problem is they're too thirsty, right? So, and to be honest, like, I understand it, you know what I'm saying, right? Like, because there is that point where you've been alone for so long that the world just feels so numb. It feels so colorless. And you're like, where's some, sex is a part of it, but it's really not all of it, right? Because guys will say, yeah, I want to get laid, right? Guys say, I want to get laid. But in reality, I think, I'm just going to say what I think, but I'd like to get your guys' feedback. I think the reason why guys say things like, I want to get laid, is they actually want the full package. They actually want somebody to go to the fucking CVS with, to joke around with. And that's part of the whole package. But I think that they feel too emotionally vulnerable when they say that, so they say, I want to get laid. Does that make sense? Right? So sex is probably the biggest dopamine spike out of the whole thing, but it's not the whole thing, right? Like, if you just go home with girl after girl, you have sex, the sex never even has a chance to get that good. You're always going to have to use a condom because you don't know each other, so you're going to have to use a condom. So you're basically having like not that good sex using a condom, right? So then what happens is that you don't actually get the full package of it. So over time, you start to want that, right? And it's very, very human to want that and to wish that you had it. So then if you've got a really attractive woman who likes you and you're excited by that, your brain can go fucking haywire, where you get too excited about it, you're too thirsty about it. But what is that showing the woman if you're too thirsty about it?
That you're deficient.
You're deficient? Yeah. But what does it also show how you might act?
You're untrustworthy.
Untrustworthy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then what if she just happens to decide she doesn't want to hook up with you? What are guys that are thirsty likely to do if that...
And that's the big thing, is they become upset, right? Like, because they're like in this pursuit of chase and like they're not getting the hit that they were like going for, right?
The guy.
The guy.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, and then how does he act?
Like a dumbass.
Yeah, basically just saying all the time that we spent together is bullshit.
Well,
Like, yeah, we hung out for the last 5 hours, we had a good time, but because it didn't end the way that I wanted to, fuck you.
he shows emotional instability, basically.
Showed emotional instability.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, that's why girls like guys who have other girls too, because in their mind, it's like, oh, if you have all these girls,
Mhm.
you have probably refined yourself to a certain point, so I don't have to like worry about you
Mhm.
much, you know?
Yeah, especially if they're just meeting you initially. Okay, so then would you guys say that what can you do in your own life to reduce that neediness or pedestalization? What are the steps?
Like, definitely shift your own state, your self-esteem, how you perceive yourself, your identity.
Yeah, for sure. What else?
Expose yourself to it.
Yep. Yeah, get used to being around women more. What else?
Have like internal validation.
Internal validation. What else?
Have other passions and hobbies.
What's that?
Have other passions and hobbies.
Others passions and hobbies. What else? All great answers. What else?
Pay attention.
What's that? Pay attention. I like that. Yeah. What do you think I should do?
Just be genuine.
Genuine, but so I think that's the goal, but how do they get to the point where they're not so thirsty? Because, okay, say that me and you were eating a steak, right? And you haven't eaten in a month, and I've been eating, right? And I'm just enjoying the steak. And then you're like, you know, I'm like, just be genuine. And you're like, give me the steak.
I have to think about something else. Sorry.
So how do they get to the place where they become genuine?
I mean, just by like having enough going on in your life that
Mm.
you feel full on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Detaching from the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, now here's the other thing that I would say. The other thing is that actually being able to know how to go talk to women and having success with women also can help. But the thing is that if it's only based on being successful with women, then you're still an empty vessel who needs ongoing supply and validation and sex and reinforcement in order to be okay with yourself, right? So I think that this whole protecting my peace thing of like just internal validation without knowing how to engage with women, I think that's limiting because now you're just trying to become a Zen monk. You're basically just opting out at that point, right? Now, if it's just that you know how to talk to women, you're not internally validated, then what's happening is that you're this empty vessel. It's somebody who has narcissistic personality disorder. They need this thing called narcissistic supply, where basically internally they're shattered, and so their entire brain just becomes this like narc supply getting machine. So that's kind of what happens on the other side of it. So this is why we have to learn a combination of internal change as well as lifestyle shifts as well as social skills. Okay? So you have hardcore inner work, hardcore lifestyle changes, and hardcore social skills. And all of these have to be understood. And then within that capacity of social skills, also the ability to read people and to understand where they're coming from. Okay? And it's one of these things where it's a challenge until you get on the other side of it. And then when it rains, it pours. And then you're now on the other side of that. Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you guys in here want to have a family or have a family legacy within your lifetime? Okay. So that being the case, what is the best route that you can take? Like, how would somebody have met the mother of their children back in the day? Where would they have met them? Church. Where else?
School.
At school. Community. Okay, right? Community, right? Now, with social media being what it is these days, it's more competitive out there, right? People have a million options. So what I'd say to you is you no longer really have that capacity to meet someone at church necessarily. You might meet them at church, but you can't guarantee you're going to meet them at church. So then from there, what do we have to learn to beat that? We have to learn social skills. We have to actively learn social skills. Now, people will say it's cringe to learn social skills. And I kind of agree. I get it. You want to know learning social skills, like having learned social skills, absolutely cringe-worthy. There's, in fact, only one other thing even more cringy than learning social skills. You want to know what it is? Not learning social skills. It's all fucking cringe, okay? Okay, make this like the decade of pro cringe, okay? You've got to accept it. Like me building a business and like posting Instagram stories and posting YouTube videos, it's cringe. It's all cringe, okay? Everything's cringe, right? We can't all just be this perfect person like your parents is like the Rothschilds and you just go around to polo matches and smoke a cigar, right? For those of us that have real lives, we have to put ourselves out there. So what would life look like? Like what's the ideal way that this looks day to day? What kind of shifts are we trying to make to where you're socially comfortable and able to meet people? What does the end point look like? What are we shooting at? What are we trying to get? Where are we trying to take this journey?
To get the person that's the most compatible with you.
Somebody who's very compatible, right? So how do we get there? Do we just find a girl at Starbucks and she drops her soup, it rolls over to you, you lock eyes, and then you get married?
You gotta build something around you so she can join in.
Massive.
Yeah, and you gotta approach a lot of people to actually find out who's compatible and who's not, and know your boundaries.
Yep.
Build for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. So what does it look like? You're out and about. How do you engage? What do you do to engage when you're out?
Socialize.
Start talking to people.
Socialize, talk to people,
Be curious.
chat with people, be curious. What is the body language that you see if someone wants to talk to you? And what is the body language that you can see if somebody does not want to talk to you?
Closed.
Yeah, open versus
Tense that they
closed.
don't.
Okay. So what are some things that you're seeing if somebody wants to further that conversation?
Eye contact.
Engage.
Okay, so one of them is the eyes light up, okay? Their eyes are big, they're lighting up, okay? So they're kind of like, they call that like the anime eyes, the Bambi eyes, okay? What's happening, how about the conversation? Do they give close-ended answers or do they also give you the opportunity to continue talking?
Yeah, they're curious.
Yeah.
What's that?
They'll open up. They'll keep talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell.
Yeah, okay. What are some other, how about if you say a dumb joke, what do they do?
Laugh.
Yeah, why would the girl laugh at a joke that's not necessarily that funny?
Because of the tension.
Yeah, because she's trying to make you feel comfortable to keep the interaction going. So it's not that what you said was necessarily objectively funny, even though it might have been, but it's actually that there's like there's an energetic exchange that she's wanted to continue flowing. What are examples of a girl does not want to continue talking to you?
Disinterest, won't talk.
Close-ended answers. What else?
Looking away.
Turn away.
Turning away. What else?
Maybe too much distance.
Yep. Another one too is if you just put your hand up, you go high five like that. If she's like, yeah, like that probably means she'd like to keep talking. If you put your hand up like this, you're not putting it in her face, you're just putting your hand up like this, then if you just see her be more like that, then that means she probably doesn't want to talk. If you hold hands like this and she's squeezing your hand, then she maybe wants to keep talking. Then what you can do is you can lower your hand so you disengage it. If she holds her hand there because she's hoping you'll re-engage, that's a potential sign that she wants to re-engage. If she pulls her hand away right away, then that probably means that she doesn't want to engage as much. It's not 100%, you know what I'm saying, right? What's the main thing you can also do if you're not 100% sure? Ask. Okay. Then from there, what do you say to someone if they don't want to keep talking to you?
Have a nice day.
Have a nice night.
Have a good night. Yeah, that's what we always teach. Have a great night. Okay, do you leave bitter?
No.
Mad?
I'm never making them mad.
Okay. So you say, hey, have a great night. Okay? Now, if in some way that you think you put them off, you know another great thing to say? I say this in my Canadian accent.
Sorry.
Yeah, you guys know. Yeah, I say sorry. Yeah, I encourage guys to overuse the word sorry if in any way you think you disturb someone's night. Why? Because that shows the person that you're not going to run around like some maniac. Okay? So they know that you're self-aware. Okay? So have a good night. Hey, have a good night. Hey, sorry. Have a good night. Okay? For some reason they don't want to talk. Why would someone maybe not want to talk to you? What is they're not attracted? Could there be other reasons?
Either having a bad day.
Bad day. What else?
Not in the mood.
Boyfriend?
Yeah.
Not in you? Not in the mood? Cat ran away?
Food poisoning.
Food poisoning? If you had a daughter, do you think that she owes it to every guy to have a conversation?
Oh, of course not.
Let's say her name was Jenny. Listen, little Jenny, you owe every man ever a conversation.
No, but you should tell them to be, they should be assertive, and it's like if they, sometimes women do this, it's like, they can, if you don't know how to read them, she should say, hey, fuck off, right?
You like a good fuck off, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's that way there's no, like,
Yeah.
it's not ambiguous.
So you actually like the fuck off.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I think it's more, it's like, sometimes women, I have a pretty easy time reading it.
Yeah.
But some people don't.
Okay.
So I think that women should also, this is like a two-way street here, we're trying to like socialize and become greater social beings.
Yeah.
So I think that if a woman is disinterested, she should just say, hey, I'm uninterested.
Yeah. Sure.
Throwing that out there.
Yeah. It would help the more autistic-y guys to get it. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. But that said, should we rely on that?
Absolutely.
No. Okay, so you get it. It would just be your purpose.
They're not going to give it.
Yeah.
Not the way that they work.
Okay.
Resort. When she switched to covert communication, it's her last resort overt communication is her last resort because all of the covert didn't work, so she has to tell you the fact.
Yeah. So I think what he's saying is for guys that are unsocially aware, he wishes that they would just be more direct about it. I get it. Okay, so then from there, guys, okay, so do people owe you a conversation?
No.
That said, do people often like conversation? Okay, so they don't owe it to you to have a conversation with you, but you are in a social environment where you can initiate a conversation. Don't ever let anybody tell you that if you initiate a conversation, that is bad or weird or cringe. You can initiate a conversation. But then from there, if you initiate a conversation, it's not going anywhere, then you say, have a great night, okay? And I've done this for my whole adult life, and I've never had a problem, okay? Because I understand that, okay? So then from there, what I would say is, what would you guys say is good for dating in this day and age? Like, what do you guys think is a good dating, like, okay, for example, okay, I'll tell you guys something funny, okay? So you guys might not even know about this about me, or I might have talked about it before. My preferred date, you guys will laugh at this, okay? I don't do this because it's just not, it's not a comfortable experience, but I like it, okay? Do you guys want to know what my personal favorite first date would be? Even if we don't wind up having sex, my personal favorite first date? Fine dining, restaurant. I don't mind spending $1,000 for a first date at all. I like it. I actually do. I'm kind of a bit, like, I have to hold this back. I'm kind of a natural love bomber, actually. I fall in love. Like, I actually get bored if I'm not in love. It's boring to me. You know what I'm saying? I just find it's like eating a Korean barbecue or something. You're like, I hate, like, this sucks, okay? So the thing is, like, I have no problem taking a girl out. Like, I would prefer, my perfect first date is, like, supercharged romantic, gentleman, like, over the top. The challenge is, I've tried everything with dating. What do you think is my experience with the supercharged, mega romantic date with somebody who I just met on a street corner? How does it come across? It can come across as somebody who's taking a little too far, okay, in this day and age, okay? Does that mean that you could never do a date like that? It just means maybe don't lead with it, okay? Now, what would be a good thing to lead with?
Maybe a coffee?
Invite to a party.
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think coffee is even the go these days. You know why? You know what I think coffee translates into?
Right.
Do you want to go for coffee? You know what I think they hear that as? I think they hear that as, do you want to fuck?
Wow, really?
Who goes for coffee?
Wow.
I didn't even think you want to fuck me if you're trying to take me for coffee. Like, okay, yeah.
That's
Crazy.
crazy.
Teacher told me, he goes, it's never about the coffee. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like we're trying to get to a business plan at the end of the day.
Sure, yeah.
You don't talk about the coffee.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of coffee. My favorite thing to do, not that I like doing it, it's not my favorite, but it's still fun, is I think of something that I'd be doing anyway. Like, so for example, so basically what I do is I have a group of friends, okay? The guys are really funny and cool, and the girls are funny and cool. So I've got good girlfriends, so I cultivate female friends, okay? So like, if I call some of my female friends right now, I got like down ass, super cool, like tight female friends that are attractive too. So I have great female friends and I have great guy friends, okay? And so I have fun activities that I like to do with them. A simple example would be we're having a dinner party on the beach in Malibu. Okay, you got a fire going, my buddy's got a guitar, people are having fun, and you're on the beach, right? So that's an easy invite. Now, the key elements of that invite are, one, something that you'd be doing anyway. Say that after me. Something you'd be doing anyway.
Something you'd be doing anyway.
And number two, something that they can easily leave.
Something they can easily leave.
Okay, so what's happening now is there's no pressure, right? So for example, if I have somebody who follows my social media, and then I say, and they say to me, hey, can I take you for dinner tomorrow? I don't want to do it because I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it or not, and I don't want to have them spending money on me, and then I know that if they took me for an expensive dinner, that they're expecting a lot back out of me. Maybe they want a free training or something, right? Some free advice, and I want to be able to get up and leave if I want to. You see what I'm saying? I want to be able to get up and leave whenever I want. It's just me being honest. So what would be a way to get me to come out as a guy to guy and feel comfortable?
That you're already doing.
How about this? The same thing as what would work on a girl. I've got 5 cool guys, 5 cool girls, and we're doing something fun. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, does that mean I'm going to come for sure? No, maybe I'm busy. Now, what do you do if you invited me out and I said I'd come and I flaked you? What's the next move?
You just say, all right, see you next time, and still do the thing,
Mm-hmm.
and invite the next time.
Yeah. Who else knows the move? You're getting there. You're getting warmer. What else?
Post videos and pictures.
That's it. Everybody's addicted on Instagram these days, right? So what you do is you put it in your stories, and then now I get to see it and I get FOMO. Maybe don't even text, hey, I'll see you later. Just don't even respond. You could respond if you want. It's kind of arbitrary.
I meant like in like a week later.
Yeah.
If you still want to see the
Yeah, but the thing is that if the story's good enough, often I would want to come out. Like if I'm like, damn, that looked fun, I should have gone, then eventually I'm probably going to come out, right? Or what you could do is you could just leave it alone for like a couple weeks or even a month, and then maybe wait until I post a story that you can kind of tell I'm proud of, and then maybe like say something positive about it. Not some regular bullshit, but like something that I'm uniquely proud of, okay? Like you don't respond on the girl's thirst trap. You respond on something intelligent that she wrote, that she put some effort into. And then you say something about that. Or what you do is you can circle back if something else fun is going on, okay? Got it? Now from there, then maybe what happens is you guys hit it off, you hook up that night, or what happens is that you hit it off enough that you'd hang out individually later and get to know each other more individually, okay? And then even that's kind of chill, doesn't necessarily go anywhere. And then over time, what's happened is they've now seen you in a number of different situations. So what is the woman maybe looking at in those situations as part of her decision-making process if she's attracted to you? Because if you're not a classically good-looking Giga Chad, she's not necessarily seeing what she needs in a snap. Okay, so when I say things like looks don't matter that much, I'm not saying that you're the same as a Giga Chad. I'm just saying that you can get the same outcome if you're intelligent about how you go about it. I'm not saying that you do the same things, okay? A Giga Chad just posts something on Hinge and then gets lit up with invites. And he has a revolving door. But what I'm saying is that you get a similar result if you're smart. So what is if you're not a Giga Chad, then what is she looking at in you to make her decision-making process?
Your behavior.
Behavior. What kind of behavior is she looking at?
Whether you're thirsty, you're needy, how you interact with
Okay, thirstiness and neediness, that's a fast screen. What else?
how you interact with other.
Okay, so yeah, so by the way, one of the most attractive qualities that she's going to see is how you interact with your friends. That's massive. How does he interact with his friends? You know, say that the security guy comes in here and acts like a dick and starts yelling at us, even though I'm the one late, so really I'm being a dick. But you know, they come in. Then how did I deal with that security guard? Did I scream at them and go crazy? Did I let them bully me? Did I engage with them in a way that was intelligent and made sense, right? Maybe a kid comes in. You know, there's like a point with a kid that's probably a little too friendly, right? And then there's a point with a kid where you're a dick, right? Did you have that perfect balance, right? So it's all those little points that she's looking at, right? She's also hearing your voice. She's also seeing your degree of confidence, leadership, sense of humor. And would it be fun to hang out with you? Would it be fun to date you? Would it be a good time? Would she learn something? Would she get something out of it? How would it go? You see what I'm saying here? It'd be kind of like that, right? So you got to think about it within the context of like, what is she actually seeing getting out of it? That's how you can go from a less traditionally good-looking guy to someone above those guys in some cases. And it's not even 100% of cases. Sometimes she wants Chad, okay? And it doesn't matter how many picnics you invite her to, it's not changing it, okay? But there's a definite, significant number of women that are more sapiosexual. I am, by the way. I'm actually sapiosexual. So it means you're turned on by people's intelligence. So, like, I've dated many girls that are physically as attractive as it can get, and I got a hard time, you know, doing what I got to do. And then if a girl's intelligent, I start getting aroused. Probably because my DNA knows that intelligence is probably more important for your offspring than necessarily just the way somebody looks. Intelligence is going to get you further, right? So if you're knocking up a girl who's dumb, then you know your kid might be good looking, but if your son is dumb, then that's not the ideal for your son, right? Yeah. So love him, but you know my point. So what I'm getting at is like some girls are more stimulated by men's energy. They care more about how they feel around him. They care more about his energy. They care more about social intelligence, capacity for empathy while not being a wimp. They care more about him being fun to hang out with and entering into his world. Remember, if a girl goes in your world, she's now entering into this like wormhole of what your reality is like. You know, she's inheriting and taking on the friends, the energies, the conflicts, the drama. She's taking on that kind of stuff too, right? So you kind of want to sort a lot of that stuff out to where you could invite her into something that's fun. By the way, you think, okay, maybe she'll like a guy who's like a hardcore entrepreneur, right? And some girls do. You can't speak for all women, but what does that in some ways communicate if you're just a hardcore entrepreneur, grinding, hustle culture?
Trying too hard.
No fun.
Yeah, you're not fun, right? It's not entertaining. It's not fun. Some girls like it. That's like their jam. Like they're just like, I know girls that are like that. They just love that stuff, right? Some girls, that's their thing. But I think girls also want to be able to have a good time with you. What does it mean if you just work all the time? You just grind all the time?
Workaholic.
It's kind of scarcity based. Right? It's kind of scarcity based. It's just like your life sucks and you're just it's like overcompensating, your life sucks. So, you know, it's not really needed. Look, it's the same thing. Like most men think that women want a guy to be super huge, jacked, but most women actually prefer a guy with something closer to a swimmer's body. Why? Because the guy's not trying so hard. He's not the average guy that's mega huge, like space alien level huge, a lot of those guys are deeply insecure. They're not mentally healthy in most cases, okay? So you basically want to be showing markers of mental health, markers of feeling good in your own body, markers that you're able to be present to the moment, you're able to be present with her, you're able to have fun, et cetera, okay? These are things that she's going to get within that way of meeting her, okay? Now, from there, how do you kind of put all the pieces in place of meeting people and living your life? Like, what does that look like? Like, how is what we're showing you here play out as far as social skills? How does it play out? How does it like, what's that look like in a given day?
Talk to people when you go to the grocery store.
Okay. So say you talk to somebody who just doesn't want to talk. What happens?
Move on, find someone else.
What do you say?
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Nice meeting you. Okay. Then what do you do if someone is not attracted to you, but is friendly with you?
Make them your friend.
Okay. And then what kind of things could you invite them to?
A gathering.
Social gatherings, right? Okay. Could you wind up dating a girl who's not initially attracted to you?
Yeah.
Later, though, right? Because she'd have to see more about you, okay? My last major relationship was my friend for 3 years. Now, guys hear that, they're like, you had to date her for 3 years? No, I didn't date her for 3 years. I invited her out to social gatherings for 3 years. She also invited me out to social gatherings, and then we wound up dating, okay? So you want to have, and this will sound extreme, but you want to have hundreds of both male friends and female friends that are in your social circle loosely. Now I keep a very tight circle as far as my inner circle, right? But you want to have, go for it.
How do you flip the
Loud.
switch? After they are like your friends for 3 years, how do you flip the switch? How do you?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
It's very rare if a woman knew me for 3 years, she wouldn't be attracted to me. And I know it sounds really cocky. It's almost impossible. How could that happen?
But they assume you are their friend.
She's watched you be a leader, solve problems, be emotionally regulated, be fucking funny, doing cool things, having great friends. She's seen all this stuff. Look, it doesn't mean you're entitled to anything. It doesn't mean it's a guarantee. But I mean, the average girl that I'm friends with, okay, like friends with, you want to know how we'd wind up having sex? A logical conversation. You see what I'm saying?
No.
Like, if you've known someone for 3 years, okay, or even a couple months, and they know you really, really well, and you like them, you can just talk to them about it. You can't do that. You can't lead with that. If there's a girl that I'm friends with, I probably don't want to have sex with her because I'd probably rather keep her as my friend. But if I saw that there was a unique chemistry there, because there is, it's not a bad thing to openly talk about it. You can have an honest conversation about it. You can't do that at a bar as easily, but you could do that with I mean, you could joke about it at a bar, but you couldn't do it in a serious way at a bar necessarily, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe some cases if it was like real crazy, but it's something where like, yeah, I've had girls I was friends for a long time, and I just said, and it was real, actually real. This only happened a couple times in my life. I said, I get value from being around you. I enjoy being friends with you. But at the same time, I think there's just more gas in the tank here. You know, I think there's like, I think that we have a chemistry that goes past that, and I think we'd have a great time dating. But if not, I'm completely, totally fine to continue to be friends. And why is it that I can say that and it doesn't freak them out?
They've already seen all aspects of you.
What'd you say?
They've already seen all aspects of you.
Oh God, I thought you said something different. Yeah, they've seen. Yeah, what's happened is they know that you know other girls, right? And you remember what did I tell you guys that's important about why it's important for them to know that you know other girls? Because then it's real, okay? If she knows that other girls like you, and that you're choosing to be with her, then she knows it's because you actually like her, right? As opposed to it's just some bullshit. Yeah. Okay. So then, let's say that you met somebody out. Okay. How about how many people might you meet in a day? How many would you meet in the morning? Okay, out of 10 people who you talk to, let's say that you're on your way to work, you went to breakfast. How many people would you meet there on average?
3 to 5.
I'd say 1. You're eating fucking breakfast. You know what I'm saying, right? There's people on the move, right? Maybe meet 1. How long would that last, maybe?
Couple minutes.
10 seconds.
It could be, I'd say, to get good rapport, you need 3-4 minutes, and then you put out an invite, okay? So if you didn't get a lot of time to talk to somebody, is it appropriate to try to sexually escalate? Okay, so then if you met them for 3 or 4 minutes and they think you're cool enough to maybe fall on social media, what's the best answer?
Follow me on Instagram.
Can't hear you.
Follow me on Instagram.
Same, yeah, you want to trade Instagrams. Okay? Now, if the person you're talking to shows hesitation, like that, and is not very enthusiastic, what do?
Nice meeting
You
you.
just, you kind of like change the topic and then just kind of leave, okay? Only if they're really excited to do it. You don't need somebody following you who's not excited to follow you, okay? So now you got maybe an Instagram, right? Now maybe you're on the subway on your way to work. How many people would you meet on average?
Maybe 2.
1 to maybe 2, right? How long are those interactions?
A couple minutes, depending on the subway.
Yeah, some are 2-3 minutes, and some of them could be a conversation the whole way there, okay? Now, how about at lunch?
Maybe 2.
1 or 2, okay? Now, how about when you go out at night and there's a ton of people out?
50.
10.
So how many are you going to meet out on a given night?
A lot.
Oh yeah, you're going to meet a lot, okay? Now, are the connections stronger in the day or at night?
In the day.
Probably in the day. But where's the volume going to be better?
At night.
Yeah, unless you live in New York City where there's a million people out, okay? So you're having higher volume at nighttime, okay? Now, what are the qualities that she is looking for in your social media to decide if she wants to talk to you?
Your lifestyle.
Like you have fun.
friends.
Like you're hanging out with other people.
What do you think is more valuable, money or fun?
Definitely fun.
It's actually fun, I've tested. Okay, because I've got all the toys. I've tested. Okay, then, so you're having fun on your social media. I think another thing you want to put on your social media is show that you're not a fucking psycho. That's like a big one. Like just show that you're not a psycho. Anything that can show you're not psycho, okay? Like what's a men's biggest recorded fear on a blind date? She's fat. What's a woman's biggest fear on a blind date?
Serial killer.
Serial killer. Okay? So what are you trying to make very clear on your profile?
Not a serial killer.
Not fucking psycho, okay? All right, so then, okay. So then, I mean, look, imagine being a woman and like you want to meet a guy, but every time you go out, you don't know if this guy's fucking nuts, right? So you want to distance yourself from that, okay? Now, okay, well, ideally you also aren't that, okay? Step 1, don't be that. Step 2, distance yourself from that. Now, anything can be misinterpreted. Now then, from there, okay, what are ways that you could show that you're not some creeper?
Show yourself with other people.
Other people like you. You got your nephew there, your niece is there, your female friends are there, you're having a good time, okay? So it makes it a no-brainer to come meet up because you're not going to be weird about it, okay? Then from there, what do you put in your stories?
Your everyday life. What you do, what's fun.
Everyday life, okay, you guys get it, okay? Then you have volume. Now, what are some other things that you could also do to invite people? Like, what are some things you can invite people to?
A bonfire.
Bonfire, what else?
Beach.
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday, what else?
Go to the gym with you.
Sushi.
Sushi, okay. Sushi, though, I think, you know the problem with it? You're paying. She knows you're paying. She doesn't know you yet. I don't want to go to an invite myself if somebody's paying anything.
Well, recently I invited girls to a hike in nature.
Mhm.
So I live in Dubai.
Yeah.
There's a
Hiking, if the girl trusts you enough and she's looked enough at your social media, then a hike could be great. But the challenge is if she doesn't know you that well, now she's going off in the middle of nature with some random
That's
fucking dude.
interesting because I've known this girl for 3 months and I tried to get her out on a date.
Yeah.
Stuff, and she flaked on me, but I didn't give up.
Because too high commitment.
Right, it was too high commitment, but I texted with her. With a pause of 2
Yeah.
weeks or whatever.
Yeah. Now, by the way, again, and just to keep this rolling, again, like my favorite first date would be, and I kind of lied, you know, I said $1,000 dinner. I really want to go for like 3,000. I got money, I don't care. I want to have fun. I want to eat good food too. I don't want to go to some bullshit. I want to go to a good restaurant. You know what I'm saying, right? So I also want to blow the girl's fucking mind. I want to blow her fucking mind, okay? And eat the best food. But the thing is that why is that an impediment with somebody you just met? It's just too soon in today's society, okay? I hope we get back to a place where I could come to you and go, let's make a plan to fucking blow someone's socks off. Usually that's something you do after sex or something you do if you knew them for quite a while, okay? Often even after you've hooked up, okay? Okay, so then from there what I'd say is, how does your life change when you have this down? Are you able to get in a relationship?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, you can get in a relationship, right? Are you able to choose someone you have better chemistry with?
Yep, of course.
Okay, here's another thing too. Human beings, and men do this as much as women, basically we will often act as shitty as what the other person is willing to tolerate, okay? So say you wake up one morning, you're cranky, you're fucking tired, you're stressed. If you know that that other person will tolerate that, you'll tend to emotionally vomit that onto them because you know you can get away with it. What if you know that if you act like that, that they're not going to continue talking to you?
You won't do it.
Yeah, but then here's the best I can put it to you, okay? I will have it where I rent an Airbnb for like a week, right? And I'm the one who messed it up. I'm the one that left out all the fucking food and the crumbs and didn't do the fucking dishes. But by the time I'm done, I hate the Airbnb. You see where I'm going with this, right? Like I leave and I'm like, that Airbnb sucked. But like it didn't suck at all. I'm the one that did it. Okay? So I've had it where I let people crash in my house over the summer. I got like a sick crib. And people, like I come back, it's a fucking mess. And I can tell that they don't even appreciate that I let them crash in my house, even though I give them free rent, because they fucked it up. They're like, I'm leaving this pigsty. It's your pigsty, right? So in reality, if I would have said, you got to keep it clean, they would have appreciated the favor more. So if you hold people to a lower standard, do they appreciate you more or less? Less. But they appreciate you less because they're a lesser version of themselves, okay? So you want that vibe that like someone is like, okay, this guy is popular, a lot of people like him, I've got to bring my A game here a little bit. I can't just be coming with some bullshit and be negative and all this kind of stuff. Otherwise, they don't even like who they become. They don't like who they become in that process, okay? Right? If you get invited to some really cool event and you just can't be a dickhead and everybody there's being positive, you'll have a great time. If everyone there's being negative, you might start being negative and then you don't like how you act in that situation. So it brings out a worse version of you, okay? Okay, now from there, let's say that you have a significant other. Will they at times ever get mad at you? Yes. Okay, will they at times ever act fucking crazy? Yes. Okay, so then if you know that that is the only girl that you can ever get of that quality, how are you likely to react when they are acting super negative? And all humans do this, men and women do it.
You don't put up with it.
What's that?
You don't put up with it.
But what if you can't meet someone else like that? What are you gonna do?
Apologetic.
What's that?
I'm being apologetic.
Yeah, and then what does that teach them?
To be even more.
Yeah, just act even more crazy, right?
Spiraling.
Yes, okay. So if you're overt and you say, I just want to let you know, a lot of other girls like me, right? Is that a way to do it?
No.
So how do they know that other girls like you?
They have to see it.
They see it, but what else?
You don't tolerate it.
It's just, you don't even need harsh boundaries with people, if I'm being honest with you. It's a vibe. They see that you're like not even engaging with it. You're just kind of like, okay, you know, you're just kind of whatever, right? Like they can feel that they're kind of like losing, that the energetic flow is getting reduced, and then they go, wait, I want it to amplify again. So like, I don't think that I ever, whether it's an employee or my kids or anyone I'm dating, I don't think I ever have to be like, hey, I just want to let you know, I'm not okay with that. Like, it doesn't really come up, right? They can just feel the energetic engagement reducing based on that behavior, and they see that when they're positive, it's increasing. That'd be the way I put it to you, okay? Okay, so then when you have a significant other, what does that ultimately result in? Family. So you have a family, right? But can a relationship end?
Yeah.
It can also end. So then, do you ever reach a point where you don't need to have social skills?
No.
Like there's some end point, and now you can just be a hermit?
No.
Okay, so you want to basically think of this as like a lifelong journey, okay? Where you have to have it down. But here's the thing. The problem is that your time is money, your time is valuable, right? So what I'd also tell you is you want to be able to get multiple return on investments on the work that you're putting in to build social skills. What are some other return on investments that you get from learning social skills?
You get to meet more people.
You definitely meet, yeah, so networking would be another one. But what's another one?
Business.
Business? Okay. Okay, here's what I would tell you. Did you guys notice how basically just guys that have taken my trainings, like the guys that were in here teaching are not paid, by the way. This is a free meetup. They're just here as volunteers just leading it. But how good were they as public speakers?
They're good.
Up here doing it, right? Yeah. So if I'm able, why am I able to confidently just say, anyone that took my training, I could probably throw them up at the front of the free event? Why can I confidently do that?
But you do the right shit.
Because if they work on social skills, they're going to be good public speakers. Yeah. So if you're active socially, that template gets put onto public speaking, and you become a good public speaker. Okay, now let me just circle this home then for you, okay? So I don't necessarily think that it, like, while I think it's absolutely vital to have social skills, you have to have this down if you want to have a family and if you want to have a fun dating life while you're single. You have to have it down. And that alone makes it worth it. What are the other things that you could get a return on investment in this? Let me ask you an example. Am I pre-planning the speech or am I free associating it?
Free associate.
How am I able to free associate a speech? Where did I learn that skill? What's that? I learned it from learning how to chat people. This is just like me chatting a woman, but now I'm just chatting a group of you guys. Okay? So it teaches you how to public speak.